We are here to bring a new type of news show. New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Monday, September 23rd here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're watching News Generation. Today, we're joined by Cheska Dainhong.
Happy Monday, everyone!
Happy Monday!
Start of the week!
And Yoon Sang-yeong.
Happy start of the week.
Happy start of the week. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, as usual, we're going to start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items trending online. Gaming company Nexon Korea, the distributor of the popular game MapleStory, will provide 21.9 billion won, or roughly 16 million US dollars, in compensation to around 800,000 gamers in the country who were affected by the company's rigid loot box drop rates. The loot box, known as the Cube, is a probability-based item that offers random bonus effects for in-game items. A Fair Trade Commission investigation revealed that Nexon altered the probability and algorithm, significantly lowering the chances of players receiving the most popular options. Gamers who use the Cube between March 1st, 2019 and March 5th, 2021 can apply for compensation from today until the end of the year at the company's official website. The compensation will be provided in the form of Nexon's in-game currency, which can be converted into actual cash. The amount will vary depending on how much a user has spent on the item. Moving on, Seoul is expanding its lineup of city-branded merchandise. In collaboration with the domestic almond brand, the city recently launched 3 chicken-flavored almond snacks called Seoul Almonds, celebrating the anniversary of Seoul's new slogan, Seoul, My Seoul. Now, this isn't the first time the city has ventured into branded merchandise. Earlier this year, Seoul introduced Seoul Ramyeon in partnership with Korean food brand Pulmuon and teamed up with K-fashion brand Mushinsa to create Seoul-themed t-shirts and hats. The city plans to continue collaborating with private companies that have the technology and creativity to help make Seoul better known around the world. Here in Korea, we finally got some relief from the scorching summer heat after heavy rainfall over the weekend. Typically, high temperatures start to subside by mid-August, but this year, the heat has persisted until mid-September. Now, because of this shift in weather, Haeundae Beach, one of Korea's most popular summer destinations in Busan, is considering adjusting its operating schedule. The beach typically opens with lifeguards to visitors in early June and closes at the end of August. However, they're now considering back the closing date into September. When the beach officially opens, it means bringing in more on-site security and offering services like water activity equipment rentals and changing rooms for visitors. So here in the studio, I want to ask our panelists, did you visit this beach this summer, and what do you think about this decision to push back the operation dates of beaches here in the country?
Yeah, so first of all, I prefer pools over beach, and I've been to pools for this summer because I don't like the salty water, and also I don't like sand getting into my shoes. But you're right, the heat has been just too prolonged until the Chuseok holiday for this year in Korea. And I've never missed the cool breeze of fall this much before. So I think this prolonged heat should make the beach operators to adjust their working hours so that more people could use the beach until September. Meanwhile, I think this would be a good news for the people who love the water activities, but I think it clearly shows that climate crisis has now become the reality.
Right, so it's kind of like a mix of good news and bad news. Good news for those who enjoy water sports activities during the summer, but bad news because, as you mentioned, it means that climate change is worsening.
Absolutely.
Now, what are your thoughts on this, Cheska?
Yeah, I actually love the beach, so I'm actually quite glad that they are actually pushing the dates a little bit, because I do remember when it gets too hot or too crowded, it's difficult for people like myself to join the crowd at the beach. And I've been riding at night recently, and it's kind of getting chilly.
It suddenly got colder over the weekend.
It suddenly got really chilly. So I hope that we get a little bit more time to enjoy the beach. But on the other note, as Sang-yeok mentioned, and usually we kind of talked about this, the Olympics are even sometimes thinking about pushing the summer date a bit because of this scorching heat. So I don't know if it's particularly a good thing that the summer keeps pushing back, because I would really love to enjoy the summer and fall as, and it seems like they're merging together in one or another.
And then maybe we could head right into winter because the weather suddenly got colder.
And then we'll skip the spring and right head into summer.
Which is a very devastating news. So we need to raise awareness about climate change, and we should do what we can do to save our environment. And that was our news feed for this Monday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Now today, if you're a big sports fan, this topic will feel very familiar. Take a look.
In Korea, if you attend a baseball or basketball game, you will notice that it's not just the athletes who draw attention and applause. Cheerleaders play a huge part too. These cheerleaders have unique routines for each player, with everything from simple, repetitive chants to addictive, catchy songs performed in front of tens of thousands of fans. Lately, this cheering culture has been attracting fans from around the world.
Right, so as mentioned in the VCR, Korean cheerleaders recently gained even more attention with one particular routine. We briefly mentioned this during our Friday's newsfeed last week, which is the viral 삐끼삐끼 dance. So Cheska, please tell us about this routine that gained huge popularity and went viral online.
Yes, first it started when a Korean baseball cheerleaders dance video became extremely viral. It became such a quick sensation that even foreign media outlets started to pay a particular attention. If we take a look at the screen, we can see a New York Times article that was published titled, quote, "Who are the Korean cheerleaders flooding TikTok?" Videos of cheerleaders performing an ultra-chill dance routine have taken over social media algorithm, intriguing millions of viewers.
Right.
Now, the dance, Eugene, you can help me with this, is extremely simple, right? It goes like...
Like this?
kind of goes like this. I mean, that's it, right? You just switch from...
It's very simple,
very
but
simple.
addictive.
And even the New York Times called it, it looks bored. And apparently, this lax approach was intentional. The dance is performed whenever Kia Tiger pitcher strikes out an opposing batter and is supposed to be a very cheeky way to make fun at the other party. So
Kind of tease the opponent. Too,
exactly. Kind of say, ha, it's a strike, it's a strikeout. So I guess that is supposed to be sort of cheeky and simple, but I have different opinions,
Okay, we'll listen to your opinions further in our discussion. Now, through this 삐끼삐끼 routine, Korean cheerleaders gained more popularity online, but especially last year, we even saw one Korean cheerleader heading overseas and joining a foreign and international sports team. Now, these cheerleaders, they're gaining more popularity, so they're even being called cheertainers, which is a blend of the word cheerleader and entertainer, because they're now appearing in TV shows, advertisements, and many more. And they're also receiving more interest overseas, right, Sang-yeon?
Yeah, right. So before I jump onto that, I did this 삐끼삐끼 dance at my home. When
You did? Wow.
Nobody was watching because I was embarrassed. But actually, it was really difficult to have that groovy vibe.
Right. You need to have the bounce, the rhythm, everything.
Yeah, the choreography itself looks really simple, but it was really difficult.
And you have to have the nonchalant look, like the very, I'm not interested in this, but I'm just doing it.
I think it just gained the popularity because the cheerleaders are really pretty.
They are indeed beautiful.
For sure.
And I think that's why we have this term cheertainers, because a lot of cheerleaders are gaining popularity overseas as well, especially China and Taiwan, because it has been said that 3 out of 10 Korean cheerleaders recently transfer their affiliate to Taiwan, and they're earning a huge popularity there. Lee Dae was the first Korean cheerleader to advance to Taiwan market. She became an advertisement model for 12 commercials and recently debuted as a singer there, gaining popularity also as a famous YouTuber. And with many Korean cheerleaders tapping into the Taiwanese market, the Taiwan cheerleaders are also advancing to Korean markets. So it feels like that both countries are trading their cheerleader girls for, I don't know, mutual benefits maybe?
Like a cross-cultural.
Right, it's like a cultural exchange between cheer cultures of both countries. Now, another reason why we brought up this topic today is because cheerleading has been around for decades, and especially it has been a big culture overseas, such as in the United States. But it's really interesting, why are Korean cheerleaders now gaining this much fame internationally?
I think there are multiple factors, and here at NewsGen, Eugene, we covered a topic on Korean baseball fan culture, right? How organized and how group-spirited they are. And also the increase in female fans is, I think, playing a big role in it too. Now, according to Dan Kurtz, who runs My KBO, which is a fan site that is dedicated to covering Korean baseball in English, he quote said, "The Kia Tigers is like the New York Yankees of the KBO." And the cheering is almost like a rock concert.
Right.
You have individual songs for the players when they
Right.
come up. They have different chants for what happens on the scene. And as you can see from the screen, when the cheerleader kind of hypes you up, everybody kind of follows.
It's like as if we're one big cheer squad, right?
Exactly. That's a great term. I think everybody feels like they're part of the cheer squad, and the cheerleader is basically leading the movement. And also, I think the other factor is the tickets are very cheap. I think it's about $5 to about $10.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really cheap when compared to like K-pop concerts or music concerts.
Absolutely. So I think there's a lot of like, you can see young couples, young group of people that just come together. They bring their own food, they bring their own drinks, and they just get really excited.
Right. So cheerleaders are part of Korea's unique and interesting and very exciting cheer culture, which could be one of the reasons why more people are being fascinated about Korea's cheerleaders and also this big, immense cheer culture. Now, what could be some other reasons, Hangyo?
Yeah, so I think the fan chants that you can hear in the baseball parks are kind of different from what we hear in other sports games. So just like Chaska mentioned, the cheers of the baseball games are kind of like the chants and lyrics differ depending on the players
Right.
and the flow of the game. So for instance, famous baseball players like Gu Jauk of Samsung Lions or Austin Dean from LG Twins have their own walk-up songs when they enter the ground.
Right.
And K-pop songs are also widely used in these kind of cheerleadings. And because K-pop is a global syndrome lately, many people visit baseball stadiums to enjoy the dance to the K-pop medalists.
Right. So these are some of the reasons why more people are focusing and putting attention on Korea's cheerleading culture. Now, as we mentioned earlier, cheerleading is not new and it exists in many other countries. So I want to ask our panelists, what's the cheering culture like in other parts of the world?
I can definitely bring and speak from my own experience from college sports. And as we all know, cheerleading definitely has its root in America as well.
Right.
And American cheerleading is actually considered part of sports. It is very active
Right.
and competitive. And Eugene, you and I talked about it, but there are so many competitive TV shows and dramas.
That show the rigorous practice sessions,
Yeah, the tears and the drama.
the road to winning the national championship.
It's always the national championship. The drama that happens, the rigorous practices, and the hours they go through. So it is definitely something very competitive and rigorous and extremely athletic.
Right.
As you might have seen, they do so many acrobatic moves. Even the dances, they're very toned, like muscular, like actual athletes. So I think in that way, the Western culture definitely has more weight in cheerleading as it being more of a competitive sport rather than just being a cheerleading culture.
Right, so more like a sports in Western culture. Now, what about some other Asian cultures excluding Korea?
Yeah, so if you look at the cheerleading culture in Japan, they're a bit low-toned or demure, should I say? I wanted to use that word.
It was very obvious.
Yeah, I wanted to be an answer here. Okay, so they do have like cheerleaders, and most of the time they blow the trumpets and bang the drums to drive out the energy and the chants from the audience. But that's pretty much it. That's why many Japanese are now showing a great interest to Korean cheerleading culture. As a side note, this fan chant culture also differs when you go to the pop concerts. And in fact, the musicians who visited Korea from overseas mentioned that Korean audiences are really passionate when they make the chants, and they also sing along the lyrics.
Which is called daechang here in Korea.
Which is called daechang. And I think this kind of daechang culture was really enticed to the singers who came from overseas, and I think that's why many pop stars love Korea.
And you can also enjoy that daechang culture if you visit a baseball stadium by cheering together. So to find out what the cheering culture is like in other parts of the world, we also asked our viewers about the cheering culture in their countries and whether cheerleaders play a big role at sports events. And here's what 3 of them said. If we look at the comments, SunnyJ99 says, when it comes to the United States, cheerleading is extremely popular. Many schools run their own cheerleading teams from junior high, and there are championships in the discipline. Of course, the big crowds cheer passionately for their team at the stadium, and they get really absorbed in watching a match. BennyD97 says, in the Philippines, the cheerleading culture only applies in collegiate leagues, and the characteristics of this are a great vibe that supports every game in basketball, volleyball, and etc. We also have a cheer dance competition every every year. XOXODNS00 says, in Japan, people cheer a lot and the ballpark atmosphere is very loud. However, it's hard to find booing or fights over fouls among the audience. It's not about a lack of competition or love. I think it comes from Japan's custom of respect and politeness. Right, so we've taken a look at the cheer cultures around the world by looking at our viewers' comments. Now, to explore this trend even further, we're now going to invite a Gen Z guest from Taiwan, a country that also has a strong cheering culture similar to Korea. So today we're joined by Taiwi Wu, a Gen Z from Taiwan. Welcome, Taiwi, back to the show.
Hello.
Good morning. So our first question for you, Taiwi, is it true that there's been a growing interest in Korean cheerleaders in your country, Taiwan? And if it is, why do you think they're gaining attention in your country?
I think definitely it's very popular in Taiwan now for cheerleaders, and especially Korean cheerleaders are gaining attention in Taiwan. Primarily, I think it's due to the influence of K-pop culture, which has captivated Taiwanese audiences with its vibrant energy and fascinating performances. And their stylish appearances and dynamic dance routines stand out, offering a fresh and engaging experience during professional baseball games. Also, Korean cheerleaders bring a different level of entertainment to Taiwanese baseball, as Taiwanese baseball also values cheerleading as part of the fan experience. Korean cheerleaders have a strong social media presence, which helps them build fan bases not only in Korea, but also internationally, including Taiwan. And their performances are shared widely on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, further boosting their popularity across borders.
As you mentioned, we've also heard that Taiwan has a big cheerleading culture where cheerleaders actually enjoy almost like a celebrity-like status. How popular are the cheerleaders in Taiwan, and what really sets them apart? What makes them so popular?
I think ever since cheerleader Da Lee joined the Rakuten Monkeys last year in Taiwan, sparking a Lee Da craze across Taiwan and generating impressive revenue for the team. And by seeing this success, many other teams have also started to recruit Korean cheerleaders in hopes of boosting ticket sales and related commercial effects. And why cheerleaders hold celebrity-like status in Taiwan, I think it's mainly because that many Taiwanese cheerleaders have gained massive followings through social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok, where they share behind-the-scenes content, personal moments, and interactions with fans. Some have even transitioned into media influencers or models due to their growing fame. I think the main difference is that Taiwanese professional baseball teams have clearly recognized the benefits of cheerleaders in attracting crowds to the stadium. Also in Taiwan, cheerleaders can earn income not only from cheering and commercial endorsements, but also from other opportunities, such as branching out into hosting television programs.
Okay, then are there any changes or evolutions in Taiwan's cheerleading culture or even in Korea's?
I think there are some areas for improvement in Taiwan's cheerleading culture, and I think we can develop like community outreach initiatives where cheerleaders can engage with schools and local organizations, promoting the sport and building relationships with fans, and also participate in like some events, charity events to give back to the community, enhancing their public image and connection with fans. And for Korea's cheer culture, I think by encouraging collaboration between cheerleading and different kinds of groups, such as local schools or some organization to create joint performances that showcase the talents of cheerleaders and give positive influence to the society.
Some very good recommendations. All right, Tae, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so as Tae mentioned, Korean cheerleaders are becoming more famous in other parts of the world as well. So I want to ask our panelists ending off, do you think this trend will last?
One of the things that I also wanted to comment in the interview, which I think she put it so beautifully and eloquently, is I do hope that in order for the trend, or I guess the popularity of the cheerleaders to continue, it would be very nice to see the cheerleaders kind of branch out into different parts of community and collaborate with them, whether it be schools or organizations, so that people learn more about the cheerleading outside of just being in the playground. But as for the trend itself, Sang-hyuk and I kind of talked about it, but one of the things is I think this ppikkippikki dance was just perfectly optimal for the TikTok version,
short form content.
or the short form content, in that it has a catchy song, a beautiful dancer, and also a very easy dance that people can pick up very quickly. So in that sense, if it's the algorithm, then who knows? Maybe there might be another trend.
But I think that if cheerleaders or those participating in Korea's cheer culture kind of give back to the local community through good causes, I think that they'll become more popular.
Exactly, which is why I love the comment that she made. Yes.
Right. And what do you think, Sang-hyuk?
Well, I think this dancing and the passionate singing and chanting along, this all runs through the Korea's DNA. We just love to sing and dance. And this cheerleading culture, I think is really unique that you can only find here in Korea. So I hope that more foreigners could visit Korea to feel this heated vibe of the cheers if you go to the baseball games. And besides, since the weather is getting cooler, why don't you guys all visit the baseball parks this weekend?
It will be a lovely, special experience for you. And that's all from us today, but NewsGen will be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks today to Cheska Dainha.
Pleasure always mine. Thank you.
Thank you. And Im Sang-hyuk.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.